Welcome back everybody to another episode of the Comp-Stomp series. This one is sure to be a shorter video as I am going to be going against the newly added Very Easy AI. Eugen added this because many people were still having trouble with the Easy AI. It was still a little too aggressive for them, so they added a Very Easy AI, which they have said is supposed to be a little more passive, but we'll find out just how passive they are. I'm just gonna play against the Very Easy just to see if they are actually as passive as they should be and what that means for new players. Basically, I want to know if this will be a good substitute for my suggestion where you play by yourself to get used to the game. If the Very Easy AI just kind of hangs back at their base, that will allow you to not only experiment with things, just like I said when you go play by yourself, but you'll also be able to actually go and destroy some things. You'll be able to test out some of the things like tanks or your stealth bombers. You'll be able to go and try that out against like actual combat units, but that only works if they're not super aggressive. If they are still somewhat aggressive, then I would still say that for your first time, you would want to still be on your own. But that's what this is for. Let's test that out and find out exactly how passive the AI is. Otherwise, I don't intend to make a habit of facing Very Easy AI. It's not going to be that much of a challenge. However, that will bring me to another point, though, is that recently we did start seeing some of the first balance changes, and this is also why I have still been reluctant to talk about specific builds or strategies, because they've already kind of weakened the striker spam. Yes, striker spam still exists, but striker rushing takes a little bit longer now because they've increased the cost of the strikers and the light vehicles factory. So it's definitely not as potent as it once was, but it's still a thing. It's not gone. It just takes more effort. But what that means for you as a player is that when you are striker rushed, if you are able to counter it,
building completed,
your opponent is going to be in much worse shape than normal, because it takes a lot more investment to actually have a successful striker spam. But yeah, since they have been releasing those balance changes, that is the very reason why I'm not talking about specific build orders or anything like that, because a lot of it still can be changed and tweaked, and I want my stuff to stay relevant, you know? The other thing that they did change in balance, which I actually kind of assumed was coming, was that the... what's it called? Chimera's Terminators. I felt like the way that Terminators were upgraded, it was a little too cheap. And not like cheap as in like a cheesy thing, but cost-wise, it was just a little bit too cheap. When you think about how it works is, once you have your buildings and you research the tech upgrade, it permanently upgrades all the Terminators with the weapon system that you added onto them. Whereas US Army, if you do something like the Tusk upgrade, not only do you have to research the Tusk technology upgrade at your research facility, but after that you still have to pay per unit to upgrade them to Tusk 1. Now, for Chimera, it was just that one time you research the upgrade, and now all of your Terminators, no matter how few or how many you have, always have that weapon. So I felt like the cost for those upgrades felt like it was a little too low. Even though it takes significantly more teching up and buildings to get to the Terminators and the Terminator technology, the actual upgrade costs, I just felt like it was a little too easy to upgrade them, so they adjusted that as well. Alright. Still haven't really decided what I'm going to do with this. This is actually the first time that I have tried the Strikers thing out since the patch. I've been doing a lot of experimenting with the field hospital and using Blackhawks early on. Oops. I think I'm going to go for some economic expansion, but since I do have these vehicles, let's go see what the AI is up to since it took out my surveyor. I'm also going to use this moment to kind of touch on early game aggression. So I know a lot of people have still been having issues with rush attacks, and like, even I do rush attacks myself, but the thing about this game is that if you are scouting, which is a very important thing to do, you should be able to determine what your opponent is up to most of the time. You're not going to have perfect vision, you're not going to know everything they're doing, but every little piece of detail you can pick out is going to help you deform your strategy. If you check out someone's base and you see early on that they have a ton of refineries, it's a safe thing to bet that they don't have very many units at the moment. Which means that if you were to attack them with a small amount of units, you might actually be pretty successful because they've been investing their money in not units. But there's a flip side to the coin as well. If you invest a whole bunch into units and you lose those units, you're going to be behind if your opponent has more of a strong economy, because the money that you invested early game is gone, whereas your opponent still has some of the money that they invested early game in their economy, as well as they have a stronger economy now, so they're going to be able to build faster. I'd say that overall the game is a pretty good balance of military choices versus economic choices. The more choices you make for your economy, the less room you have to move with your military. But the more that you invest in your military, the less that you're going to be able to invest in your economy. And the middle of the road, the balance in the middle of the road, is sort of a reactionary strategy. If you're in the middle of the road where you're slowly expanding your army as well as your economy, then you're going to be pretty set to react to a lot of situations, but you're not going to be making a lot of game-changing plays. You know what I mean? You're going to be able to scout your enemy, you're going to be able to stop them from attacking you, and you're going to be able to hit them somewhere where it hurts. But if they're being aggressive or making big decisions, then they're going to be in a better position to decide when and where combat happens, whereas you're going to be responding and trying to counter it. Aggressive strategies favor things like this. See, I didn't go into his base. I forced him to send some units out from his base, and I'm destroying his extractors. I'm not going to be able to take down the refinery easily with strikers, but by attacking the early economy or just attacking the extractors himself, I'm hurting the economy that he's trying to build up. Because I've invested in these units early on, and if this AI had a lot more... Oh, look at that. I didn't even notice that. It's a very easy AI, but the game labeled it as newcomer AI. I like it.
Enemy unit detected.
I like it. Yeah, so far, it seems to be the case. The AI has not attacked me, which normally even the easy AI starts harassing you with, like Pumas or Humvees, depending on which faction they are, so... This is looking like if you do want some AI there to do stuff like what I'm doing, just send units out and attack. This new very easy AI is looking like it might fit the bill for being a presence in the game, so that you can actually have something to attack without it going too far and attacking you back. Yeah, anyways, really what it comes down to, just like a lot of other strategy games, you have to balance economic decisions with militaristic ones. And even though the game is ultimately about combat, you know, you build a strong economy and you can build an army faster, but early game, if you invest really heavily in economy, you're not going to have much army to back it up, and if your opponent is investing in an army and they come attack you early on and you don't have anything to defend against it, they're going to cripple your economy, or at least they're going to bring you down to their level, and then things balance out again. Overall, I mean, this game is still very young. There's a long road ahead of us, but I'm really liking where it's going, and I'm really excited to see what the future holds and what Eugen has in store for us. I am also very excited for Cartel. I got... those of you might know how I did this, but I'm not going to publish the information out there because I don't want to spoil surprises for those who don't want to know. But I did get kind of a precursor look at some of the Cartel units. It wasn't the finished tech tree or anything like that, but I'm pretty excited about what's in store, and I think it definitely fits right in for a third faction. They're definitely unique, they definitely have their own style, and it looks cool. I definitely think I'm going to like them more than Chimera. But that also fits with how I felt in Active War. Active War, I kind of felt like I was more of a Consortium and US player. I didn't hate Task Force Talon, but I wasn't very good with them, and I just didn't like their units overall. And Chimera is pretty much the embodiment of Task Force Talon, whereas the Cartel is the embodiment of the Consortium. And it definitely shows. It definitely shows in the game, and even though I enjoy Chimera, and I will definitely still put out gameplay with Chimera, it's definitely not going to be one of my primary factions. I'm very comfortable with the US, and from what I've seen, what we can expect from Cartel, and I'm gonna like them too. So I'm pretty excited for that. I can't wait for that. So for those who are still not quite feeling like they're quite there yet for liking this game, we're not there yet. We still have more content coming out. And man, I haven't even gotten to DEF CON 2. I've just been so focused on my talking points that, yeah, I'm just not even hardly playing the game. Thankfully, it's a very easy AI, so it doesn't even really matter, does it? Yeah, I definitely could be pumping out a heck of a lot more stuff. One of the tactics I've been doing a lot since they made the Striker change, so I used to do always Striker opening, because whether or not you were being aggressive or defending, Strikers were a good choice. If your opponent was rushing you, you had Strikers to answer them with. If your opponent wasn't rushing you, you had Strikers to go and punish them. So it was kind of a win-win, and I think that's why they nerfed it. Because even before scouting, I could already make the decision that, hey, I'm gonna go for Strikers because it just works. But now, you actually have to give it a little bit of a thought. And one of the things that I've actually been doing is going for the medical center and doing infantry rushes, where you just grab a few Marines and you go hunt around for exposed refineries.
Building completed.
If your opponent is hanging inside of their base, you can still go in and try to capture some buildings, but it's a little bit harder. But if your opponent is doing a strong economic expansion, then it's pretty easy for you to go and find like a lone refinery like this, or if there's one like sitting right out here, you go out there with your Blackhawk and you drop a single infantry unit and capture it and sell it. It's beautiful. Because one of the hard things to do when you expand that quickly, that early, is defend your refineries that are outside of your base. Otherwise, inside your base, if you have just a single unit with a machine gun or something on it, it's going to be able to stop enemy infantry from capping the building. No problem. But once you get to DEF CON 2, you can be even more of a jerk. And what I do is I grab snipers and throw them into Blackhawks, and you go and drop them around and start looking for buildings to capture, because the snipers will still reveal themselves when they start capturing, so you do want to make sure that if you're doing that, that the building is still undefended. But you don't alert the enemy to your presence until it's too late, usually. I usually feel pretty bad when I do that, but it works. It's very effective, because most people don't see the snipers coming, and by the time they do get revealed, it's too late. The building's already in the progress of being captured, and if there's nothing immediately next to the refinery, it's going to be yours. Yeah, so it looks like, in conclusion, overall, since this AI is about to go down, it seems like the AI still plays exactly like the normal easy AI, only they don't, what's the word? I'm having trouble with my vocabulary today. They're still the easy AI. Is okay. That they're not as aggressive though. They're passive. They seem to just sit back. They still seem to make the same units and make some of the same early game decisions. Just rather than attack you, they keep everything kind of back at their base, which is good. That is actually a much better way, because I know that whenever I am practicing, when I started the game, you know, being by yourself works, but sometimes you just want to see how a weapon looks or how it functions. So having something like an AI like this, where you can have some units to engage, will be nice. It's going to be helpful. I don't know I don't know if at some point it will start attacking you, but hopefully it definitely seems like it's far less aggressive than the standard easy AI. And here we go. We got our Amadeus special here, losing power. That is definitely a classic Amadeus move. It's gonna go down in the history books. Months down the road, I swear that's what I'm gonna be known for. Oh yeah, Amadeus is that decent player who always somehow forgets to build power plants. Oh, and another quick announcement that I want to make for those who are familiar with AOAreplays.org, or those who aren't, you should check it out. AOAreplays.org is a website that compiles not only videos, but the actual replays from game that you can download and watch. And they're also doing a little tournament right now for the beta called King of the Hill. And I have entered that tournament. I think I'm like number 8th or 9th in line right now, but basically one person is the king right now. I think his name is Zalami, and he is currently undefeated, but basically whoever defeats him will become the new king of the hill until someone beats that king. So that's kind of the premise. It's called King of the Hill. That's on AOAreplays.org. Go ahead and check it out. There's also other guides and strategies up there as well. And yeah, it's a nice website, and I will definitely be posting stuff to there as it comes up. And especially if you are going to be playing active aggression, I definitely recommend checking out that site. And you can also download other people's replays, which is a good way to learn as well. You download someone's replay who knows what they're doing, you can learn quickly without having to go through some of that same stuff yourself. So it's a good place, it's a good source of information. Definitely give it a check out, go give it a look. Again, that's AOAreplays.org. So yeah, here we go. Newcomer AI, very easy AI, whichever you want to call it. Oh my gosh. And yeah, that happened. I said that. Get it all out now, have your laugh. Anyways, newcomer AI, passive, not as aggressive. I have a feeling at some point they would start sending some units at you, but it's definitely nowhere near the level of aggression that the normal easy AI had. So definitely a nice addition. So yeah, if you're still learning, give the very easy AI a check out while you learn the ropes. That's my endorsement. Should help you out. And yeah. Yep, there we go. Alright, I think that's only just stuck my list. I actually do make a list of talking points that I want to talk about in these videos. And yep, looks like I covered everything I want to do. So yep, there you go. We have our newcomer AI. And so yeah, thank you for watching. This has been another Comp-Stomp. Hopefully you guys learned something. Hopefully this was entertaining, and this has been another active aggression gameplay video. My name is Amadeus. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you next time.